A recap on all PlayStation Plus news, the rumored Sony handheld might launch this year, Sony wants to give it another try at cloud gaming, Suicide Squad gets delayed and Spider-Man 2 might be a factor, all that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. Let's start with a full recap of all the PlayStation Plus news this week. The game catalog for Extra, Deluxe and Premium users this month goes all Bethesda, with 4 titles from the company, making it hard to acknowledge Sony's claims that Microsoft will support other subscription services. The full list includes Kena Bridge of Spirits, Doom Eternal, Riders Republic, Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus, Slade Spire, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, The Evil Within, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, Bassmaster Fishing, and Sackboy A Big Adventure, which makes no sense since they just gave it as part of the monthly lineup. The premium games for the top tiers also go full Bethesda with Doom 1, 2 and 3 Classic, Doom 64 and Dishonored Definitive Edition. It's another great update for Extra and Premium, even if we don't get a new PS1 or PSP Classic, or considering all these Doom and Dishonored games are PS4 remasters that should probably be on Extra instead. You guys also agree with over 80% of you thinking it's a 3-star or above lineup in our community tab poll. All these games should be available next Tuesday, April 18. What's available right now is trophies for another PS Plus premium title, as Sony quietly added trophy support for classic PSP title Echo Shift, with 30 trophies to collect including a platinum. On to the bad news, 32 games are leaving the service on May 16, which you can see in the list here and include big titles such as Spider-Man 2, Regular and Game of the Year Edition, Resident Evil, Shenmue 3, Metro 2033 and Last Light Redux, and a lot more. It makes zero sense for Sony to remove their own games, and especially when people will be interested in playing the first game as we draw closer to a sequel this year. Sony and Marvel realized that and prefer to generate more sales rather than allow access through a subscription service. Something we should be thankful Sony is taking away though is spam emails thanking you after claiming a PS Plus game. As reported by PlayStation Lifestyle, several Reddit threads have appeared with users saying they no longer receive the email after claiming a free game. That's everything on PS Plus. Which games are you looking forward to playing next week? Which games are you going to try to finish before it leaves next month? Share with us in the comments. The PlayStation Store top downloads for March have been revealed, and Resident Evil 4 has taken the top spot across US, Canada and Europe in PS5 releases, bumping Hogwarts Legacy a couple of spots down. Another March debut was Wolong Fallen Dynasty, slashing its way to the top 10 as number 8 and 9th in US, Canada and Europe respectively. Sports titles MLB The Show 23 and WWE 2K23 also featured in the top 5, at least in the US and Canada, while in Europe only WWE 2K23 secured a spot in the top 10. Fans appear to be getting ready for Jedi Survivor as Fallen Order has charted as well, and it also helps it was part of March sales going for around $4. And The Last of Us fever is going down as Part 1 only managed to be number 12 and 17, and The Last of Us Part 2 barely remained in the top 10 for both regions on PS4, despite most of the games being high in the chart last month. After spilling the beans on the rumored new PlayStation handheld, trusted leaker Tom Henderson is back with hints on when exactly it may launch. While speaking in the Iron Lords podcast, Henderson said the remote play accessory could be hitting shelves in November. That would be just a couple of months after they released the rumored PS5 Slim, which Henderson has said should launch around September. If all these rumors turn out true, this would be a year with lots of hardware from the Japanese giant, including the already released DualSense Edge and PSVR 2, but it remains to be seen how all perform. PSVR 2 appears not to be doing that good, and a remote play only accessory doesn't sound that exciting. Handhelds are apparently not the only thing Sony is trying to get back to, as they look to make a major push for cloud gaming. The Verge has reported that Sony is looking to fill 22 positions at their Future Technology Group, or FTG, with the aim to develop and deliver their strategic vision for cloud game streaming at PlayStation. FTG seems to be the new name for the Gaikai group Sony acquired a while ago, and that's after being renamed Cloud Gaming Engineering and Infrastructure Team, or CGEI. The roles include a Director of Product Management for Cloud Gaming, as well as Platform and Software Engineers, Security Architect, and more. Some of the job postings make a reference to using Amazon Web Services, indicating Sony may not be working with Microsoft for cloud services as they inked a deal in 2019, one that PlayStation boss Jim Ryan said didn't move past exchanging ideas. The Verge also reports Sony has taken down the postings after the article went live, so they kind of low-key acknowledged it was some sensitive information. Sony had the edge on cloud gaming after acquiring Gaikai, but the times, pricing, infrastructure and other reasons made them abandon most of their ideas for cloud expansion, leaving the service only for PlayStation consoles. Now with a rebranded PlayStation Plus service and with the space that Google left behind with Stadia, they have the chance to compete in the space, and with this the rumored streaming handheld makes a lot more sense, although I would still prefer one that also allowed you to play downloaded games. Guerrilla Games has shown one more look at Horizon Burning Shores before its release next week. This time it focuses on combat, indicating that you can master new skills to take down enemies in exciting new ways. The new acrobatic maneuver has Aloy leaping onto the machines to strike them down after a QTE or to create a weak point for a bigger blow. Horizon Burning Shores launches on April 19. Naughty Dog continues working to fix the disaster that has been The Last of Us Part 1 on PC, and this week they released a new patch improving camera jitter for players using keyboard and mouse. But even after a few patches, the game is still a mess and gathering negative reviews on Steam. Some users report that it crashes less but still crashes, and that's even with a good rig. PS5 users also got a new update this week in the form of new fixes to combat, accessibility, audio and other issues, plus it added new HBO in-game teasers for Ellie like The Wire and Mortal Kombat 2. In related The Last of Us news but regarding the HBO show and spoilers ahead for Part 2, co-creator and producer Craig Mazin spoke with the Squire regarding Joel's fate in Part 2, and he said that it should be fairly obvious to anyone by now, but he doesn't fear killing characters. But the important thing to note was that neither Neil nor him feel constrained by the source material. Pedro Pascal also mentioned he was aware of his character's fate despite not watching the scene or playing the game, but it wouldn't make sense to follow the game faithfully only to stray from the path. Co-star Bella Ramsey chimed in saying that if the events indeed happen, she doesn't know she's emotionally ready for it. I think no one will be emotionally ready for that even if you already played the game. Mazin and Druckmann won't change the events for sure, but they will definitely play with the timing at which point during the series story it will happen. Last week we saw Sony lashing out against the UK CMA over the regulators changing sides after they determined a Call of Duty acquisition by Microsoft wouldn't drastically change the landscape of console gaming. Among the retaliatory arguments from Sony, the electronics giant indicated that studies showed the social conversation created from comparison videos such as the one from Digital Foundry are highly influential in gaming purchases. That is in part to their other argument that Microsoft won't have an incentive to fully utilize PS5 features, or that they could do an inferior version for PlayStation. Microsoft has previously compared their duty to Activision content like how they have kept Minecraft on all platforms, but Sony said that Minecraft can be compared to Call of Duty due to having blocky graphics. Suicide Squad has been officially delayed as the game account has announced on Twitter. The game now moves out of 2023 completely and will release on February 24, 2024. Rocksteady's official statement indicates they will be taking the time needed to work on getting the game to be the best quality experience for players, while thanking the community for their support and understanding. However, despite being a lengthy 9-month delay, don't expect them to change too much of what they showed at the February State of Play. As pointed out by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, the time is not enough to completely change the nature of the game. The team was told it would be a delay for polish only, and other factors from console makers likely influenced the decision. He replied to another user saying one of them could be Spider-Man 2 launching in September, so yeah, we had another apparent release date confirmation for Insomniac's big title this year. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Share them in the comments below, let me know your feedback by liking or disliking this video, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!